Hey there, Lisa. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't at work right now. You do have the day off, don't you? Would you mind if we talked about something really quick?
Oh, good morning, Trudy. Yes, I do have the day off today, but is something the matter?
Well, I was just wanting to confirm that it was going to be little Daisy's birthday soon, right? I'm trying to think of what I should get her, but I wanted to see if you had any good gift ideas that she might really like.
Oh, Trudy, you don't have to go and get Daisy a gift. I just couldn't ask that of you.
Oh, Lisa, please, this is my granddaughter that we're talking about. Of course I'm going to get her a birthday gift.
But didn't you already send that big gift bag full of chocolates to our house?
Well, yes, but that was a gift for all of you. Besides, one of the joys of being a kid is getting gifts from Grandma. So please, if you have any idea of something that she might like to receive.
Well, I really would just feel so bad. I'd feel like I was taking advantage of you.
It's nothing of the sort. After all, I'm the one reaching out to ask you what to get her.
I suppose that is true. You know, I was thinking that it might be time for her to get a phone. Not a smartphone or anything, but just one of those phones they make for kids to use in emergencies and stuff.
Oh, I see. I suppose the kids are getting younger and younger when they get their first phone now.
I know, but she's already in 3rd grade, and since her father is still away on that business trip, I'm just always getting worried. I mean, I thought I was busy enough for her older sister Gina. It's probably nothing, but it would just make me feel so much better knowing that she had a way to contact me if she needed it. And I'm sure it'd make her feel like a grown-up.
Well, it's a present that will make the both of you feel good, then I suppose that's why it's good. I just hope that a little girl her age will be able to figure out how to use a phone. And I'm assuming you'd want one that would come with some sort of means to track it, right? I remember when we didn't even have cell phones, let alone ones with all these fancy bells and whistles.
Yes, I imagine you've had to learn quite a bit as new models and kinds of phones have come out. But yes, if you could get her a simple one, that would be great. I don't want her going on the internet or anything like that, but if she can call me when she's in trouble, then I'll feel better.
Understood. I'll do my best to find a phone that has all that you want and nothing that you don't.
Oh, Trudy, thank you so much. I'm sorry to ask this of you, but I just know that Daisy is going to love this as well.
Well, that's all that really matters in the end. But how have you been since James left for his business trip? Have things been okay at home? Are you and Daisy getting along well?
Things are going all right. To be honest with you, I am feeling quite lonely without James here. But I imagine that it has to be even worse for him. I mean, at least I'm home with Daisy and close to family. He's just stuck living in a new apartment and going to work every day.
Yes, I think it's a shame that his work had to send him away for so long. But I hope that the two of you are at least able to call at night.
Yes, we are calling, and I hear that you and him are staying in touch frequently as well.
Oh, yes, we are. But he's been like this ever since he was little. He never did like when his father or I would have to go away somewhere. And so I think he's just getting used to living on his own like this for the time being, but I hope the loneliness passes soon.
You and me both. I really didn't think that he'd be called away so suddenly like this. I was just starting to finally get used to it all. Having a husband, a daughter in school, living in this house. And things were going so well for us too. We hadn't fought. He was also so happy to see Daisy and I when he got him. I know this sounds funny, but I didn't actually think that I'd miss James this much.
Well, I understand that feeling all too well. After all, my husband also had plenty of business trips when James was younger.
Yes. I think I remember James telling me about how he always felt like his dad was going out of the house and would be away for weeks.
Well, it is true, but I did my best to keep the house running and take care of everything while Frank was away. So I just hope that you're keeping your head on and not letting doing everything alone drive you crazy. Don't forget to rest when you can.
I do really appreciate you saying that, Trudy. But I think I'm going to be okay. Thanks for talking to me. Trudy, I just wanted to let you know that we got those vegetables that you sent us. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. I had far more than I would have been able to eat here at home.
Really? Because even then, this is just so much. I mean, I thought you had shipped a TV or something, the box was so big.
Well, it was just the weather suddenly turned so cold so quickly. And I know that colds spread around schools like wildfires, so I just wanted to make sure you and Daisy were getting your vitamins.
And this is a huge help, since veggies have gotten so expensive at the store. I mean, honestly, this whole package must be worth a whole lot in itself.
But it wasn't. It was just some of what I had gathered from my own garden as well as what a neighbor had given me. So please don't think any of it and just enjoy the vegetables.
Of course we will. I'll have to look up some recipes to use these all, I think.
Excellent. I hope that I didn't give you anything that you don't like to eat.
No, nothing like that at all. Actually, Daisy has recently gotten into eating all of her veggies, so I'm sure she'll just love this.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad to hear that Daisy is already making such good habits for herself. That's our girl.
And by the way, I actually just got a message from James. He told me that you even sent vegetables all the way to him as well.
Well, yes, that's right. I know how men eat when they live alone, so I thought I would send him some veggies as a reminder to be healthy.
I really am sorry that I can't do more for James from here.
You don't have anything to apologize for at all. He had to go for work and you're at home taking care of your child.
I suppose you're right. I just can't help feeling like I'm not doing enough when James isn't here.
Oh, don't you worry about James. I know that we're always joking about him, but he's an adult who can take care of himself.
You're right about that. After all, he was living on his own for a little bit before we started dating. Although his meals always were, well, let's just say they were simple, but good.
You don't need to say any more than that. I completely understand.
But you really are such a great cook. I have to say that when I first went to see your house, I was amazed with your garden.
Well, I do really like having such fresh vegetables to pick any time I want to cook with them. So I hope that you can make use of those vegetables as well.
Of course I will. And thank you so much for always thinking about Daisy and I. You don't know how much we appreciate it.
Well, what kind of mother-in-law and grandmother would I be if I didn't? Besides, I just want to make sure Daisy doesn't get sick.
Well, she just seems as energetic as ever, and so does James for that matter. We're all happy and healthy here. In fact, Daisy is even too energetic sometimes. There are plenty of times that I wish it was easier to calm her down.
Well, yes, welcome to one of the many joys of parenting. Of course, it doesn't surprise me at all that someone like Daisy is so full of energy.
She certainly is a firecracker, but sometimes I can hardly keep up with her. Either way, we have lots of fun. And I was thinking that the four of us should go out one day for a ladies' day out. We could go to a spa or something like that and have a great time.
Lisa, you really are full of bright ideas. Do you know that? I really am just so happy that my son found such a bright girl to marry. I mean, I really respect how positive you always seem to keep yourself.
Oh, it's nothing really. It's like you say, it's all for the family. If I didn't have James and Daisy to take care of, I don't know what I'd do. But I'll message you again when I've thought of some possible dates for a girls' day out.
Oh my, if it isn't Daisy! What are you doing up so late, dear? Isn't it past your bedtime?
Grandma, I need you to tell me how to call an ambulance. Please, I don't know the number. Who do I call to make a doctor show up?
Wait, what? Why in the world do you need to call an ambulance? Did something happen?
It's my little sister. I don't know. She just seems like she's in a lot of pain.
You mean Daisy? What's the matter with her? Please, you have to tell me what happened.
I don't know what happened. Daisy caught a cold, and she's been really, really sick ever since. All she does is sleep all day, and she hardly ever wakes up. But now, I can't even wake her up, and she just keeps murmuring in her sleep.
Well, what about your mom? Is she there?
No, she isn't home right now.
What? Where is she? Did she have to leave the house for work or something?
No, it's not work or anything, but yesterday she left in the morning and never came back home.
So then you haven't seen your mom at all since yesterday morning, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. A strange man came over to our house, and then Mom got in his car and left, and never came back.
I see. Well, thank you for telling me that, Gina.
I told Mom a bunch of times that we should take Daisy to the hospital, and that her cold was only getting worse, but she said that she wouldn't. And then, finally she left, and I don't know what to do now.
Oh, I see. Oh, Gina, I'm so sorry you're going through this. How long has your sister been sick?
I think she got a fever around last Friday.
I see. So that means that Daisy would have been sick for about a week now. Okay then, I'll call the ambulance and tell them to go to your house. You wait for them there, okay? Everything's going to be all right. Just wait for the paramedics to arrive and they'll help Daisy.
Okay, I'll wait here. Thank you, Grandma. I feel less scared now.
Of course, sweetie. I'm happy to hear that. You did good by telling me about this. Now call your dad and tell him that I'm already on my way to your house now. I'll make sure you're both okay. You have nothing to worry about.
Okay, Grandma, but please hurry. It's dark outside, and I'm really scared.
I'll be there as fast as I can, sweetie. Just stay strong for your sister. You can do this.
Trudy, what is the meaning of all this? I mean, it's 4 a.m. Why are you trying to call me right now?
I really am so sorry to be doing this, Lisa. I tried to call you over and over again, but you weren't picking up.
Well, of course I wasn't picking up. I was fast asleep. It takes a lot to finally wake me up when I do fall asleep. But I am sorry for missing your calls up until now.
Well, I suppose I'm just glad you're responding now. I was just wondering how the girls are doing right now.
I assume that they're fast asleep too. I mean, I haven't checked on them since putting them to bed, but it's 4 a.m. And just what is it that you wanted to talk to me about? I really don't want to be rude, but I do not appreciate being woken up like this.
Well, that's the thing. I was asking about the girls because they're actually here with me right now. And do you want to know who else is here with us at the hospital right now?
Wait, hold on a second. You and the girls are at the hospital? What in the world are you talking about?
I mean what I just said. Gina called an ambulance to take Daisy to the hospital. Did you really not know about any of this? You're at home right now, aren't you? I would have assumed you noticed all of this.
But I mean, what is going on here?
Now that's what I would like to know, Lisa. Now be honest. Where are you right now? Because Gina told me that you haven't been home since driving off with some strange man a couple of days ago. Care to explain what the two of you are doing?
I want to know about the ambulance first. Is Daisy okay? Is Gina okay? Please tell me that everyone is okay.
Well, apparently Daisy's cold got worse and she was starting to get living inflammation for her high fever. The doctors told us that if we waited all that much longer to bring her in, that her life could have been at risk. But what I don't understand is why Daisy wasn't already being taken to the hospital in her state. As I understand it, she's had this really bad cold and fever for more than a week now.
Well, I really was going to take her to the doctor, but I was just so busy. I just didn't have time to do it yet.
You mean you were busy running around town with men who aren't your husband?
No, it's nothing like that at all. I swear this has all been just for work.
Okay then, who is the man that you left the house with? Because I don't know why someone from your work would pick you up from home. And I can't understand why you would leave your 2 daughters at home by themselves to work either.
He was just a friend. Please, you have to believe me. I'm not cheating or anything like that at all.
Lisa, just give it up already. I already know everything. There's no point in hiding it.
What do you mean? What do you know? There's nothing going on is what I'm telling you.
I know that you've been doing this for quite some time, ever since my son left for his business trip. And just looking at the girls, it's clear to me they haven't been getting enough to eat, so you're not even feeding them properly. I'm sorry, I don't care what excuse you might have, made up or otherwise. This simply isn't acceptable.
Trudy, I'm so sorry, but you have to know that I never wanted anything like this to happen. I thought that Gina would be able to take care of her little sister.
You really left one of your young daughters to take care of the other so you could go around and have an affair? What is the matter with you? Why would you go and do something like that?
Well, I thought that Gina was big enough to do it all by herself. And I was only going to be gone a little while, 3 days at the absolute longest. Besides, I know the girls had their phones and could call if they got into trouble.
Well, that's exactly what they did, and it's a good thing they had them. Although Gina told me she tried calling you over and over again, but you never ever picked up.
I'm so sorry. I guess I must have just had my phone on silent and never noticed.
I guess you didn't want the girls interrupting your intimate time. Is that it? Were you ever concerned with Daisy's health at all? She could really have been hurt from this.
Of course I worry about my daughter. How could you even ask that?
I can ask that because you weren't at home when they needed you, and now they're at the hospital and you're still nowhere to be found. If you were a mother who really loved their child, then you wouldn't leave them at home like this. Not when one of them is so seriously sick.
How dare you try and say that I don't love my children? I'm worrying about them right now, aren't I? I'm worried sick, I'll have you know. But you're telling me that Gina finally ended up calling you after I didn't pick up?
That's right. Apparently she didn't even know how to call for an ambulance in the first place. But I went straight to your house after I got the message and waited for them for the ambulance.
I'm so sorry that you had to go and do this. It was never my intention at all.
Well, I also told James all about what happened, and now he's at the hospital with us as well. So now that he's here, I was going to take Gina with me back to my house so we can get some shut-eye.
Thank you so much for looking after my girls. You don't know how much this means to me.
And what was with the state of your house? There was trash littered everywhere. Don't tell me that you've actually been making your daughters live in that mess. That's why I'm taking both of them to my house and making sure they get a proper meal and sleep in a proper bed.
I never meant for this to happen. Please, you have to believe me that this isn't how I wanted things to go.
It's well and good that you're apologizing now, but you shouldn't have done any of this to begin with. You lied to me and pretended like everything was fine and that the girls were taken care of. I trusted you. And tell me, does this man that you're sleeping with even know that you're pregnant?
Yes, he knows. But please, I was just so lonely with James, and then all of a sudden I was wrapped up with this other man. I guess I was just having so much fun that I forgot to stop and remember my other obligations.
Yeah, I would say that your children are pretty big obligations if you ask me.
You're absolutely right. Is James still there with you?
Yes, he's here, and he's very, very angry. He can't believe the danger you put your daughter in, and all for an affair.
Well, please tell him that I am so deeply sorry. Can you please tell me which hospital it is that you're at?
You really think that I'm going to tell you? James told me that he doesn't want you here, so I'm not telling you anything.
Please, I'm so worried about Daisy. I just want to see my daughter. Surely he can understand that, right?
You have no right to say that after you're the reason that she's here in the first place. You don't get to pick and choose when you can be a good mother.
But I didn't know that Daisy was in such bad shape. Now that I know, I realize all the wrong that I've done. I really do understand what was wrong about what I did. Please, you have to let me see my daughter.
I'm sorry, but we are done talking about this. I understand your feelings, but as James's mother and Daisy's grandmother, I simply can't allow that to happen. You lied to me, you betrayed your husband's trust, and you could have seriously harmed or even killed your own daughter. I really don't even know if you're worth calling yourself a mother after all the neglect you've shown to your children like this.
Please don't say that. I'm so sorry for everything. I really am. And I promise I'll never let anything like this happen ever again.
I'm afraid that I simply can't trust you again after all this, but don't worry, we're going to make sure that this never happens again. James is going to hire a lawyer, divorce you, and take the kids so that nothing like this ever befalls his children again.
You can't mean that. James is really going to leave me and take the children? He can't do that. He can't take my babies away from me.
You gave up any right to complain about this when you walked out of the house to have an affair and left your children alone in the house for days. Now I'm going to take Gina back home with me, and I need to get some sleep myself. But the next you hear from any of us, it's going to be through James's lawyer. We are through here. After that, James called Lisa's parents and told him about what all had happened. But Lisa never came back home that night. Everyone was sure that she was avoiding home and family because she was scared that everyone would blame her for what happened. Later in the week, Lisa showed up at the house with the man that she'd been cheating on James with. They both apologized profusely for what happened. Lisa's parents were both there and flew into a rage at the two that seemed to last hours. The divorce went through without a hitch, and Lisa didn't have a legal leg to stand on and didn't fight the process at all. She was forced to pay for her affair, and she was charged with child support fees as well. As for the man she was seeing, his own family found out, and his own marriage also ended in divorce. After all the legal proceedings, Lisa's parents refused to give her any help. Without money, family, or friends, Lisa had to quickly find a job and a place to live. Lisa tried writing to James to beg for his forgiveness and if she could ever come and see her daughters. By then, James and the girls had already come to move in with me for the time being. But James still thought that it was too early. He told me when his daughters were older, if they told him they wanted to meet with their mother, they would let them. But for now, he wanted to focus on taking care of them. Daisy recovered surprisingly fast and was back to her old energetic self in no time. I only hope that when that day comes that Daisy and Gina might want to meet their mother, that Lisa herself has undergone some serious growth.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.